Seriously, who do you hang out with?
The radical left, the Marxists, the anarchists, the agitators, the looters, and people who, in many instances, have absolutely no clue what they are doing.
Sin el alma de tu cuerpo, sin tu cariño,
It is terribly like.
sin tu latido.
What is that? Okay.
How terrible is to be alive without your love
No,
and
instead, no. You could
the beat of your heart.
You could stop with how terrible is life, like and full stop.
Okay, so this is the depression podcast, apparently.
It is.
Oh,
It is.
shit, I can-
mean, our fucking director is also on her period.
PMS podcast.
Yeah. PMS podcast, exactly.
Where are you going to hide when the revolution starts, Susan?
That was our first episode, man.
That was our first episode.
And I think this says a lot about this podcast, like how futuristic it is. That we thought that the revolution is not gonna come for like at least in the middle of our 40s. And it looks like it's happening now.
You think the revolution is coming, actually?
Yeah.
Do you believe that history has
Repeats itself.
Not just repeats it, I think it rhymes, actually.
Oh la la!
Oh la la.
I
That's a
think
quote.
I saw this on Instagram.
I saw
in
this
a
quote.
story.
I saw this quote, I don't remember the name. History doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes.
Ugh.
Do you believe in teleology of history, that there's a progress that we are approaching to some place?
I think probably, like, I'm not joking, like, seriously.
Okay,
I
let's
think
talk seriously.
this is probably the thing that I hate. This is the thesis that I fucking hate the most. Like, people thinking that today we are, like, awesome and we're so advanced and we are so developed and we came up with all these fancy new ethical paradigms and technological advancement and evolution and shit like that.
And reason, because that's what makes us different from animals.
Civilization.
No, reason. I love it. Like even in biology and from the field I come, don't hit our our director / producer / friend
/ lover
/ your wife. Says please don't. Yeah, like even in biology, there's this idea of what makes human different. Reason. We have reason, as if we were a part of the animal kingdom, which, dude, exceptionalism and anthropocentrism in a way.
But we have the reason, but we have like so many varieties of these. What makes us different? Like I remember there was for a long time people saying that tools.
Mm-hmm.
We use tools, like fucking everyone, like monkeys, like
all animals. Not all animals, but
like a lot
many
of
animals.
Is
Just like
crows are like.
And then they said like making the tools, not using them. But
What the fuck is making the tools?
Yeah, like like assembling the tools, so to speak. Like not just using like a stick, but assembling a stick and a rock. Then you could say that's a higher cognitive.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
Are bees superior than humans then? Like seeing the fucking thing that they make like out of nothing.
I mean, they are superior dancers. You know that? you know that they dance
Absolutely. They communicate.
Yeah. They communicate through dancing, which is really, really interesting.
But tell me why you're sad. Because this is like a depressed podcast. It's a very sad It's the podcast that we weren't even able to come up with anything to talk about because everything is shit.
That's true. And because we planned it last minute, most of the things we did.
Yeah, because you're traveling for fucking rich people.
When you hear
please all shame him because he has like 3 weeks holidays. Like
when you hear my voice, I will be swimming in the seas of Vietnam. But because, as we said, no. This is an anthropological trip. and social trip because I want to
Anthropological
trip because I want to understand like the rise of Vietnamese fascism. No. Like I'm going to study like the socialist government of Vietnam.
But it's not anymore though. Like you came too late.
No, Vietnam is socialist.
What are you talking about? It's not.
Vietnam. Have you seen their flag?
Are you? Please tell me you're joking.
No,
because I'm gonna hate my.
I'm not joking because of the flag, but
yeah, definitely the flag. Yeah, but not Vietnam.
Vietnam is socialist.
No, fuck no. Like, what are you talking about? It's not.
What do you think they are?
It's a capitalist country.
Vietnam is socialist, dude.
Okay, babe. Like, if I'm wrong, just cut it from the because I don't wanna look stupid.
You will look really stupid.
No.
Vietnam and Laos both are socialist.
Like, if you consider China as a socialist country, then yeah, but no.
China.
Like, dude, listen to me, because this is I never want to talk about my work, but it always comes to like we.
What do you know about Vietnam, first of all?
My roommate was Vietnamese.
Okay.
Which I'm putting you in contact with.
What
Like,
if
you're welcome?
It's like if your roommate is white Mexican and you tell me, yeah, I know a lot of Mexico because my roommate is from Monterrey.
No, but I mean, we are building manufactories in Vietnam all the time. It's a rising replacement for China monopolizing manufacturing, not monopolizing.
Like a socialist
discourse.
country can have like corporations. What do you mean? But they are managed by the state.
They're not. That's what I'm saying. But please enlighten me. Like, give me the sources.
I will just fact check.
It's
Vietnam.
one party communist state.
Thank you. Not even socialist. Sorry.
Yeah, well, that's why I told him if you consider China as a communist or socialist country, then yeah, sure.
Is Vietnam currently a communist? Vietnam is a socialist republic with a one-party system led by the Communist Party.
Yes.
The CPP espouses Marxism, Leninism, and Ho Chi Minh thought, the ideologies of
You know
Ho
him,
Chi
the
Minh.
guy? He's that guy. He's that guy.
Man,
He's that guy.
I really can't believe you didn't know that Vietnam was
I
communist.
know, but it's not a socialist country. It's not. They don't have safety nets. It's not a. It is a growing capitalist society. Like the fact that the fact that you have a one party state.
I really think you're trying to defend something you lack
I'm
information.
learning
Like
it.
you lack information and you're trying to defend a point.
I mean,
that you have no idea.
That's literally my life.
Okay.
That's literally.
I will be there 3 weeks. I also lack of information. Like I know stuff, but I lack information. But next podcast we will talk about this is a good idea, because every time that there's this discussion about socialism, communism, and they are like, yeah, all socialist states fail, blah blah. Let's talk about like modern socialist states.
Mm-hmm. That's actually a good topic.
Yeah, because there are a lot. Like there are a lot. Well, not a lot, but there are many. There are many. There are socialist states that are strong. Vietnam is a really strong economical state and socially speaking also.
Mm.
And we can do a podcast about modern socialist states aside of the well-known.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah, modern.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks. All that you used all the trigger words today. I think just to piss me off. So I'm just reiterating this point. So first of all, we don't talk about communism. Let's talk about socialism, because communism is not a. It's not a.
I didn't say.
Yeah. You can be a communist country. It doesn't.
I said there were socialists.
Yeah, I said everyone is communist or none is communist.
I said they were
But
socialists.
yeah, back to the question. The fact that you have a communist one-party state doesn't mean that you are a socialist country. Back to what I'm saying. China is a communist one-party state. It's not a socialist country.
It's not a capitalist country.
It's not a capitalist country.
It's not a capitalist. Then we have to.
But why do you think that it's not a capitalist country? Let's attack that.
Because the party and the state are the ones that control the economy. they control the corporations. Like the state is above the corporations. It's not like
I
the
agree.
US in which the corporations
Exactly.
are above the power, and that's
And free
at least
enterprise.
my exactly my
Yeah, yeah.
definition. Like they can have market. I'm not denying that they are an open market and open to international like companies and capitalism investment. But
Which happened in the 80s.
exactly, but the state is above all these corporations, and the state controls have the
Yeah.
means of production, right? Like the state
And I
have the
always,
means of production.
yeah, I agree. They don't have the means of production directly, in the sense that, but they can access the means of production abundantly.
Exactly.
And I always give this example to friends when I go to this comparison between China and the US. What's different is that in the US, you can't touch a billionaire. It's untouchable.
absolutely.
So whether you commit a crime, whether you commit fraud, whatever you are, whatever you do, you can always get away with a fine. We've seen like the fucking Trump being indicted, being like it's a criminal felon, literally, and nothing happened to him. He's now president.
Didn't they like in China they condemned to death a guy that was playing with the housing?
Housing,
Yeah.
They did.
Like they condemned
Yeah.
because like the president of China said like housing is not something to play or make
play
profit with.
Yeah, and it's national interest. But outside of that, there is this very famous case of Jack Ma, the Chinese billionaire, owner of Alibaba, and later on owner of the Ant Group. And this guy he's a Elon Musky type of character, but in a very different way. He's like this populist person who says that he never went to university. He's very simple-minded. He doesn't hang out with the aristocracy and the rich people and so on. And he says that he never hires like highly educated people because they don't understand him. And this guy is a fintech monster, and he had this, like in China at a certain time you could literally get a loan, and I think I don't want to say a wrong number. I say that I
say it because I know
say
you're
wrong
going to
numbers
say
all the time. But I think it was like 12 minutes or something like that.
We need
of
like
data
somebody
process.
like
fact checker. Well, I would get screwed.
Yeah.
But I mean,
would get screwed.
again, Trump is president. So, like, whatever you'll do.
Stop hitting.
Sorry, babe,
the
I have a
table.
lot of anger management issues.
Yeah, that's true.
So
That's why you do a podcast
this-
instead of doing therapy.
I'm losing the idea. Let me fucking finish it. This guy who was a fintech monster who had Ant Group, which was basically an intermediate between banks and the people, customers, client. And so he refused to give access to. First of all, he criticized the Chinese government, and second of all, he kind of refused to give access to data to the government, which at that time we're talking about data that literally give a profile to consumers of either they are or they are not eligible for credits for like it's a very, very important information.
Yeah.
The fact that he did both these things, erased from Earth, disappeared for a year. Like no one knows who they are, where he are.
It's like in Mexico, you just disappear.
And then he pops up in Japan, and then like whatever. But anyways, like completely, like his company obviously crashed. Like so, tell you that China, there is something above profit, above enterprise, above capital.
Exactly.
So I agree with you. What I don't agree with you, because when you say a socialist country, we talk mainly about a socialist, economical structure, and more importantly, social nets. Like we're talking about things that doesn't put the human being or the citizen into a situation of starvation or death.
Yeah, but they have a lot of socialist policies, like in terms of universal health, in terms of housing. They have all this.
Universal health is like when we say Tunisia is a socialist country.
I mean,
like outside of the US, universal health is not a big deal.
I mean, but you can say that universal health is a socialist idea or a socialist tendency.
Yeah, definitely.
Of course, like,
Yeah.
I mean, you can be a capitalistic country and adopt socialist ideas like health or housing or whatever. So,
I mean,
of course, there's no country that it's 100% capital. Like even Argentina with Milei and his anarcho-capitalism, there's a state, like and there. Nowadays the political
he's slashing.
He's like completely destroying everything. But,
no, but not like.
But what I'm saying is like there's nothing like pure. There's no country that takes an ideology in its pure sense. Like,
but I think you touch base on a good point in the sense that the important thing is about institution and services.
Yeah.
And when we say socialist countries, we're talking about.
The state, how much the state is involved in
how much the state is involved, but I mean the state can be involved only by regulating and can be heavily involved. It's still not a socialist approach, because you can be regulating the market, regulating the laws, regulating the jurisdiction, regulating everything, and still give complete complete access to the private sector to run everything.
Of course.
But the socialist approach, like the socialist leniency or tendencies, is for the state to take on its shoulder services that they think they can't be they can't be judged on profit, or they can't be commodified, commercialized, whatever it is, like health, like news, like public transportation, like education, like these type of things. And for example, in Vietnam, education is not free. Like my roommate now, she runs a thing about private education shit. Sorry, who like calling you out.
But maybe it's free, but there's also like it's like in Mexico, you have free and private education. Like if you have
but in
money
Mexico,
access
but I mean, like I fucking hate this thing. You have private, and if you have fucking private and you have public, means public is shit, and like you're gonna die if you're gonna go to public. Like,
no.
It's like public schools in the US. Like you get shot in the public.
In Mexico, the best university of Latin America.
Oh my god!
It's the UNAM, and it's public.
One in the whole country, one university.
But what a university! I didn't even study there, but mi raza hablará el espíritu, because Pumas are from this university, so that's why.
Noam Chomsky actually taught a couple of times, and they gave him a couple lectures.
Yeah, of course, it's a great university.
Fuck all the regimes. Back to the sadness.
Is your pizza good?
It's not bad.
Yeah, okay. The listeners
Am
can
I
hear
fucking your Am I fucking your audio with my eating?
Probably.
Yes.
I'm allowed, I'm hungry.
Do you have another beer?
Yeah, I opened it for you.
Okay.
But tell me.
We can share it.
Tell me. Seriously.
Happiness is share.
Caring is
Share is caring. No, but there was happiness. Happiness is only real when shared.
Oh my god.
When will you hide when the revolution comes?
I'll go back to Mexico. But apparently...
No.
No.
It's not gonna work out?
No, and if the revolution happens, like probably I would be like the first to be decapitated in Mexico. I don't know.
Why? What are you doing?
Yeah?
Do you have? Are you a lord in Mexico?
No, I
own properties?
I don't, but I accept that I come from a privileged class and a privileged family.
I mean, look at your hat.
Look at my hat. We said no comments on hats.
We'll cut it.
We cut that shit. So I'm self-aware of the privilege I grew with. And if I was somebody in a precarious situation in Mexico and I see myself, like me, Mario, I totally would go under the revolution and decapitate me. Like,
but this
guys,
is...
it's okay. I wouldn't have like any rancor, you know. Like I would understand.
Rancor.
Rancor. Bad feelings, not bad feelings, but like harsh.
We have to find the word.
Anyway, people got it.
No.
In English, it's
No, there's another one.
It doesn't matter then.
Language is meaningless.
Language is meaningless.
But this is interesting because most people that come from privileged backgrounds, and whether privileged because of money or because of other things, mainly money.
What other source of privilege?
Money or like money
or
money
or family
that owns money. But most people like talk about yes, and we should do more, and we should help the less fortunate and whatever. And when I tell them, no, like you have to give away all of it.
Of course.
People obviously feel entitled because it's in our DNA and some almost.
Are you talking about human nature?
No, not. But like almost like it's hardwired in us.
Yeah,
like we've been taught that property and ownership is something that is almost naturalized,
Of course.
And so would you?
It's funny that you asked, like when AMLO tried to be president, like that
I love AMLO.
Don't.
Fuck you. I love AMLO. I don't care.
I mean,
like if the real like last 10% of income, like income receivers in Mexico, average salary rose by 96%.
Yeah,
I fucking love
that. That's true. Like, I applaud that.
Thank you.
But he's leading a liberal economy that is going to fuck us. But anyway, like the first time everyone said, like my white privileged friends in Mexico were saying, like, because I said, like, yeah, I'm going to vote for him. This was like, I don't know, 10 years ago, maybe more. And they were like, no, Mexico is going to be like Venezuela. And that's I love that.
You wish.
For every, because I was talking with a friend of Colombia now that they have Petra, that is from the left, and she told me the same. She told me, like, also people were like, no, we're going to be Venezuela. Now we are going to be Venezuela. For Venezuela, everyone's going to be Venezuela if you vote left.
You fucking wish. Like, Venezuela has a lot of petrol. Like, I would love to be Venezuela.
Yeah, like, how long Venezuela? But anyway. So this guy tells me, like, no, like with AMLO, he's going to make you share your house with other families. And like, okay, yeah. Like, sounds good, no?
I mean, if they're in the street, then yeah,
sounds good. But they are going to, yeah. But if it's for sharing, and I don't think it's that bad. I was like, okay. Yeah. So I don't know.
I mean, until we live it.
Until we live it. I mean,
because I don't know about you, but in Tunisia we had a socialist, like a pseudo-socialist almost government.
I forgot the name of the guy, the prime minister, in the period of Bourguiba. Ben Salah. Ben Salah.
Anyways,
Ben Salah.
So he did the ta'adudiyya, like this. He basically took, like, the state took control of all the lands, all the agricultural lands, and they did this ta'adudiyya, which means collectivities. And so multiple people. So the land that were on the state ownership,
yeah.
they got given to people, and they share with the state. They share the outcome, and the people that own the land, obviously they don't own it anymore, and they share it with them. And it was disastrous on the production aspect of it. So the system was very, very bad handled. Productivity
dropped
like crazy.
Yeah.
We almost had like a famine in the 80s. We even had like riots against bread because the price of bread rose to 150%.
Eat cakes.
You know
what was the problem?
You know that she didn't say
I know that she didn't say it.
Yeah, here we're talking because Salma always tells me that we have these internal, like, inside jokes that no one understands. Not no one, but that people don't.
Yeah.
And so I need to explain those jokes.
Yes.
That's true. So I said the price of bread, and he said eat cakes.
In a reference to Marie Antoinette.
Marie Antoinette.
Marie Antoinette.
Yeah.
Maria Antonieta.
we found out from our good friends of
if you want to actually hear
To
the
good
podcast, listen to the rest
check
is
out.
history.
Yeah,
Check
the
out
rest is
the rest is
history.
It's really good. But they say like something really interesting, and I love it. They were like, if you want to know in which political spectrum somebody stands, just ask them, what do you think about Marie Antoinette? Like that's,
Actually,
I love
yeah.
it. It's like the perfect question. It's like the perfect question. It sounds like really naive. You're just interested. Hey, you're on a date. By the way, what do you think about Marie Antoinette?
You really like that comment? I didn't like it at all.
Really?
Yeah.
I found it like hilarious.
No.
Why not?
Because like it's super Eurocentric. Like,
Hussein.
what do you mean? Like not like most the human beings in this earth don't know who is Marie Antoinette.
Okay, Hussein, I'm talking about a podcast of two guys from Great Britain. I wasn't expecting them to go like further. It was just like a little tiny joke. It's okay.
Why is he not supporting my my baby?
What would be your question to...
So this podcast has been built on bitching on Europeans.
Yeah,
What
that's
happened
true.
to you?
That's true.
Like, why are you not
I think
following
that...
the trend?
Wait, first of all,
I'm overdoing it.
No, yeah, always. But I really think that most people from colonized countries know who was Marie Antoinette. Like, if you
It's a
have...
French colony, yes.
No, I know who's Marie Antoinette.
You want me to tell you that you're a smart guy and you know shit?
Dude, like, French Revolution is thought
Please,
like...
please don't say it. Please.
In a
Like,
lot of
French
places.
people have enough fucking pride and shit.
I mean, I know, but okay. Our educational system was completely Eurocentrist. In Mexico, in the whole Latin, I can ask anyone of Latin America. Like we're looking about the history of Europe
Probably
and the
not Cuba.
US. Eh?
Probably not Cuba. Probably not Venezuela. Probably not Bolivia. You said
they,
the whole Latin
of course, they
America.
are taught about the French Revolution. Of course, because the French
Yeah, yeah.
the French Revolution.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end, like
Yeah, the Commune de Paris.
the Commune of Paris is like a leftist thing.
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
it's like the fucking
not
they fucking
it's the whole-
decapitated decapitated.
No,
the
but
king.
it's the transition from
I mean,
feudalism to...
it's a bourgeois revolution, but
Yeah,
it's a moment in history that it's just taught.
changed the
I
the
mean,
cog.
actually, like contemporary history is divided there. Actually,
Yeah, true.
Okay.
True.
So you overdid it.
I apologize.
Okay.
I
Wow.
apologize.
Guys.
I apologize to the French Revolution.
I hope
I
that
apologize to...
Hussein apologizing should be recorded.
This never happens ever. Like,
Let's
this
do
is a
like
one-time thing.
reels of you apologizing. Like.
So,
Okay.
let's explain a little bit why we're sad. Or at least why I am sad.
You really want to talk about why you're sad, okay?
I mean, like, we really have been struggling this last week and a half to come up with something,
Of course,
to read something.
of course.
I mean, you've been happy because you go to fucking Vietnam, but it's not my case.
I'm not dude. Like I would like you to feel 1 minute what I'm feeling. Like
I'm sorry,
seriously,
I'm sorry.
I think I'm going to explode.
okay.
Anyway.
So
Yeah.
Mario has for the lovers, like you can maybe crowdfund him or give him some
guys.
money. He's poor, but he has a tinnitus and he has a high pitch frequency on his left ear that he hears all the time.
You know, like these movies when there's like an explosion and you hear like, "Dee!" and you're like,
That's
"Oh
all, that's
shit,
his life."
that's my fucking life." Oh my god, that's my fucking. But
So it's your only committed relationship, basically.
it's the thing that has lasted the most in my life.
It's very true.
Okay, so
I am
tell me
gonna get
why
back
are
to
you
it.
so? Yeah.
So
Can we smoke that here?
the joint is possible.
I thought it was tobacco.
No, I'm sad. I can't smoke.
Okay, tell us.
I mean, I haven't been. I am definitely a Westernized person by education and by heritage. Even like we have that glorification of the West.
When I met you, you were reading Stendhal, and now you live in.
Such a lame joke.
How poetic! Oh my god!
Private information.
Yeah, don't that and You tried to say it in the last podcast, and I explicitly told you not to.
Okay.
Like, please do the bip afterwards.
In Munich.
That's not believable. Like, no one will believe that I will live in Munich.
This is illegal in Munich.
Also this.
Also that shit. Yeah. Okay, so
That
so you live in Victor Hugo Alle.
Shut the fuck up and let me finish my sentence.
Tell me.
I wanna, like, I can't afford therapy. I have this moment. I wanna talk.
And I have to deal with it.
Exactly.
Shit, okay. Tell me.
So, I know that I was westernized early in my years, but I awakened to that early enough. So I've never
Awakened.
Yeah,
So
I'm superior.
You're woke. Okay.
I'm woke. Yeah.
Yeah, you're woke.
Yeah, I mean it is part of it. It's critical. I mean it's critical theory.
I'm not criticizing it.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
So it didn't really hit me a lot when I came here and I understood that it's a meta narrative, it's a grand narrative. They don't really care about human rights. They don't really care about equalitarianism. They don't really care about feminism.
Who?
Europeans or Westerns.
Really?
Yeah, but I'm saying I'm just
press,
doing
of course.
the preface, the preamble.
Yeah.
So what really hit me these last weeks. I mean, it's not necessarily about the Trump election, like I expected. I don't care also, but it's that everything is shit. Like literally everything is shit. Everything is being radicalized in both senses.
But
Everything is violent. Everything is hopeless. Everyone is dangerous. Everyone is suspicious. Everyone is scared. Everyone is hostile. Like there is no genuinity anymore. Like in the street you see it, you feel it. Like when you get close to I was gonna say a kid because that's normal in Tunisia, but here it's not, it's a felony. But like people are
when you hug
a
stranger kid.
Actually that's normal in Tunisia.
Yeah, of course.
Like when there is a kid in Tunisia, like it's
Here
okay.
you go to Yale.
Here you go to jail. But everyone, like, also it's crumbling. Like that's why we call the fucking podcast fun.
Yeah, but is this new or you are just like saying it more bluntly?
I feel that it, like the generalization, everything. I've never said everything. There was always these little hopes here and there, these little crazy things that pops up, these little hyper positive, like even fucking our hyper positive friends are not hyper positive anymore.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. What happened to them?
2024 happened.
Crazy. Yeah.
Like
Okay.
I really like I've been talking to Salma lately and we've been discussing which authoritarian regime would be better for us to live in and to fight against. So it's like, and we were even thinking like, why are we here when we could go home and fight people that like fucking at least look like us?
Oh, that was an identity.
I mean, because I'm always profiled here as the other or as the foreigner, as the
Yeah, but you said like different
Ausländer.
people that look like us.
yeah, at least.
At least look.
Yeah, it's not a
What if somebody? I mean, they say it here also. About it's kind of
No,
a
it's
chauvinist approach. You
if
know?
not racist.
If not racist, it's quite rare. Yeah, not wrong. Yeah.
Shit is allowed when you're sad.
Eh?
You're allowed when you're sad.
You're allowed to say racist things when you're sad.
No, you're never allowed
You're
to say
never
racist
allowed.
things.
No, but
Never.
there's the when the system, like, because racism, there's no like inverse racism. And
No,
and
there
shit,
isn't.
of course.
No,
like,
but I
it's
mean,
when
wait.
the system-
Like
yeah.
the statement that I said, there is logic in it. Like,
Mhm.
if I am fighting, and like I'm talking, living a militant life in the sense that going in the street, organizing, trying, supporting, coming up with ideas, sharing, like stuff like that. You know, like being organizing in the street and organizing in your own life and trying to come up with an ethical paradigm to live with whatever values they are, whatever it is, like subscribing to something. If you're doing it, I mean, I'm not a. It's not about nationality or country or whatever. But if you're doing it in a place that is not that is not your country, or that when you're not born, not your country, but where you're not born, and you have been like lynched and massacred and like really like and threatened and because we've been threatened by expulsion, we've been threatened by all means, we've been threatened by like a lot of shit. Like sometimes you ask yourself like, why am I trying to change things out of my where I was born, where I could also start with the shit that is in my own country that is also as bad as here.
Of course.
That's what I'm saying.
As important, but like
And maybe your impact could be more because it's easier. It's the same language. It's like you maybe are able to do. I'm not saying that it's.
I don't know if more like, to be honest, like I'm complaining about like situation in Europe, but in Mexico, it's like okay, yeah, there's a war in Palestine, whatever, but also people are not that active, you know, like, and not even. And
I disagree.
I mean, there's a certain sense, but also like our indigenous people, for example, like they're still discriminated and there's still poverty and stuff.
But that's what I'm saying. Like at the end, if you want to push on a cause, like you would want to go to Mexico and fight for those type of causes, and instead of here trying to push on ideas to people that will tell you all the time, who are you? You're not from here. You're an Ausländer, you know.
Yeah, but I will put two examples. I have a friend that he lives here. He lives in Munich. He's completely he loves this shit. And then
Completely integrated.
Yeah, he loves it. And then one day he saw me like raging on Instagram, and he wrote me, "If you don't like it, why don't you go?"
Yeah, that's the classic.
Like the classic. If you don't like it, go. And what I was thinking is like, if there's nobody to tell these people, guys, you are going back in 1933, then they're going back to 1933, you know, like
that's what happened in 1933. There was no one that told them.
There was nothing like, and I think like, for example, all the partisans that stay in Paris, for example, like the artist in when France was already in after France was occupied and the
Vichy.
France Vichy exactly, the only people that were fighting back were Ausländer.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
actually they were the intellectuals that came from at the end. Like you have to, every battle is a good battle if you are doing it. Even me as a doctor, when I came here, is like, okay, I would be doing much a difference if I was taking care of Mexicans that actually like need it. But if I'm helping here somebody that is escaping war or something, like it's not like who has more values. Like both are people in distress that I could help, you know.
No, I mean it's of course something that like the statement that I said, or the opinion that I said, it's just something that came out and has been also coming out.
But I understand you.
Yeah. But that doesn't mean like I don't believe that like for me that a Tunisian person would be more important or has more value than any other nationality. I don't think that at all, and anyone that would think that is a supremacist.
So Hussein is ethnocentrist.
But I do believe that whether we like it or not, because of the environment that we live in, and because of the first 10 to 15 years, unconscious 10 to 15 years that we live in a certain environment, the closeness or the easiness or the understanding, most times, not all the time of course, but most times, you understand more things. I mean that's why Orientalism also happened and existed. We talk about for a long time in the 1700, like in the 18th century and the 19th century, you had all these European scholars coming to the Orient to discover the culture of the mystic Orient and the East and all that shit. Never spoke the language, came up with all crazy shit, wrote all sort of books, and came back with those folkloric images that have nothing to do with with the reality of things.
But aren't you already a foreigner in Tunisia also? Like,
I am.
When you, for me, when I talk about political matters in Mexico, like the response is like, yeah, you're out. Like,
But you're also
Yeah,
physically
sure.
a foreigner to Mexico, no?
yeah, that's another topic. That's another topic. But
It's hilarious because I took the public transportation with Mario. Like, it was actually good in U-Bahn. I know, was it Straßenbahn? Yeah.
like
The street,
yeah.
tram. And Mario had
the
to...
Metrobus.
Had to be like this.
Like
It was too small.
Mexico City is, I'm too told for
Yeah.
Mexico City. Yeah.
But I think, me personally, it's not like I am foreign. Like I'm foreigner everywhere, in the sense that, like I think that I have this sort of psyche that I encompass and I identify with things that are that people reject in me. Like most times, like I have obviously, as everyone is, have a composed identity, and in every place that I live, the part of that identity that is either rejected or suppressed or is undesirable by the society, I would cherish it more and I would like flush it more just to piss off people, I guess.
Just a piece of people.
So, for example, in Tunisia, I used to proclaim a lot my atheism, and I used to support a lot LGBTQ plus causes, and like also sort of activism organization and so on. And I used to be a hardcore communist, but that's since the beginning. And those three things are like the most hated things here. Here, it's about me being an Arab, me being a Muslim.
That's why you roll the R.
Yeah, that's why I started back rolling the R.
Rolling the R.
So always finding beauty in the things that the masses don't like somehow.
The masses.
Yeah. What about you?
Why you want to escape the masses? What's wrong with the masses? Why don't you want to be part of the status quo?
It's not that I don't want to be. It's that it's too mundane. It's too basic.
And you're not basic. Like
No, it's not me. It's like it doesn't excite me. Like I look for things that I don't know that are different. Like the unknown is enticing in general. That's why fucking colonizers are everywhere and trying to gain more land and shit, because it's nice. But I wanna ask you also a few questions. If that's okay.
let's see. I feel in an interrogatory. Let's go.
No, it's because I've been asking myself this thing, and I wanted to have your opinion about this this doom, post-apocalyptic feeling of everything is shit and everything is collapsing and we're regressing and we are like we're going down and it's environmental collapse and it's like everyone has his own framework, but it's either environmental collapse or the degeneration ethical stuff or grooming or whatever the fuck they have, or I don't know, like economical collapse or stuff like that. Do you feel that we're going down?
I don't feel that that's a regression in the sense of what we already talked about, that I don't believe there's a teleology or this strain of history moving to a direction. I think that if you look through history, it has always been bad. You know, like I really have like this nihilist approach that it's a situation that it's practically unsavable. I don't want to say human nature because I don't believe in human nature, but it's obvious that we have applied some violent mechanisms that have like just stayed and are reproducing itself. But I believe that in my nihilist approach of it, of saying like, okay, there's nothing to do, then resistance becomes way more meaningful.
Easier also.
I don't know if it's easier, but at the end is like this idea of failure. Like, okay, we will fail. Like if you choose the path of caring, you have to be completely aware that you're going to fail. And fighting, it's fighting an impossible fight. And I think that what relates us or our friendship is like this idea of the great failure is like, I know it's a lost battle, but then let's fight a battle, no?
But I mean, easier in the sense that if you know that you're most probably gonna lose, you're not gonna you're gonna do it because you don't care. Like it's not gonna be.
Still I'm going to die. Like we're all going to die.
But why did you say that you don't believe in human nature? What do you mean by that?
I like my approach to it is that that pizza looks delicious.
You gotta not make sound.
I think they want to sell us like this idea, and they use it, especially some historians, like it's human nature to have property, you know, like first we were nomads and we were like picking stuff and hunting, and then we decided like to grow and agriculture, and then we decided to start to have property, you know, and then and the people that work harder, then they obtain more goods, so they could use that, and that's fair because they work harder, you know. And I think that the idea of human nature is an idea made up in order to explain and to maintain like the status quo of the system. Or what's your take on that?
It's pretty similar, but I think it's also a part of. I think it's a pretty new concept. Not new, but it's pretty modern concept. So it's 18th century and
the human nature.
Yeah, because you can correlate it with the exceptionalist aspect of the human of we are a part of everything else that exists. Like it's insane how cocky we're. Like we think that there is everything else, and there are human that are set apart.
Yeah. But this is an antique, like you have it in religion, in all monotheist religions, like the creation of men and then women.
Yeah, you're right.
From a rib, like it's then women.
Yeah, but it wasn't that generalistic. You're right.
I think it has always been like that.
Yeah, it's not that recent. No.
But there's also having like this. There's this famous tale that I love it, like Plato, when he defined it in the academia, a human, he stand up and he said like, humans are a featherless animal that walk in two legs. And
that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And Diogenes, the cynic, he arrived with a chicken and took like all the feathers of a chicken and so it's like, I brought you So I think there's always like this game of people advocating for different perceptions.
Sorry, I'm eating. There are people that are now masturbating on the sound. It's erotic. It's erotic.
He was doing interesting stuff. He would be so happy in Berlin though. Oh my god, he would have loved Berlin.
Yeah, unfortunately I'm in Munich.
Yeah, that's true, we are in Munich.
There is this amazing video about Plato and Diogenes, like having an interview of this French YouTuber. It's absolutely brilliant. I'm gonna show it to you. It's really, really funny.
I'm gonna also put it in the description.
You're talking to Salma or to the fourth wall?
No, I'm talking to the people. to the people. To my.
Just enunciate when you talk about stuff.
Enunciate?
Yeah.
Enunciate. What do you mean enunciate?
Like when you speak
We're
German,
not clear.
you enunciate everything.
When we speak German, because in German you pronounce every word.
Yeah,
every word.
Like if you talk about something that we don't know, or
so talk clearly.
For instance, I know Diogenes. You did not say Diogenes. You said
Diogenes. Yeah, because this is.
I use know the name in Spanish. I say Diogenes.
Diogenes. Yeah, because this is a third language for me. Like, it's difficult for me to
Sorry for not speaking perfect the language that was
fucking
imposed
Queen of England.
That's true, but because you studied English literature, You're a fancy person.
English and American
And
literature and
literature.
history and linguistics. That's how fancy she is.
Salma is the best prepared person of
Exactly, she should be.
this table. She should be here, and we're like, what? An engineer and a doctor talking about politics and literature, like we're
And
like,
literature.
no.
No, because we
Focus.
did, because we crave that, because it's something that we've never had the privilege to do on a daily academic. Well, I mean, we did, but not on a academic basis, and we initiated ourselves to that.
Of course. But also you can initiate yourself to something and be really bad at it.
Absolutely, which is the case here, I think.
It's like the case here.
But another question,
Okay.
and this is related to the same question that I asked you about regression
Yeah.
and regressing. Because I'm just gonna comment on what you said, because for modernity or the modern human, like pre and post capitalist, like a little bit pre and a little bit post industrial revolution, let's say.
Yeah.
The meta narrative. I'm gonna just enunciate something, and you tell me if you agree or not, and if you don't,
Okay.
what do you think? So there is this build-up of we're the modern civil humans, Western humans mainly. They obviously went through colonization to civilize the world, to democratize the world, blah blah blah. Capitalism won. Almost like Fukuyama almost said that the history is
It's over.
It's over.
It's over.
There is almost a period from the 90s and above where you had the unipolar world of constant progress and constant advancement and constant growth, and we literally, like today in our corporate life, that's a motto, that's a doctrine.
Yeah.
Like constant growth is not open. Like it's not only a doctrine; it's not open to debate.
Yeah.
You can't say that the company is okay for selling the same amount of things that they sold last year. It's a failure if they do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's a doctrine, and I feel that today that shit broke. Like we like the feeling of regression that I was been asking you about and so on. It's in that sense that we can't actually say that anymore. We are living through terrible things and terrible like wars and climate crisis and refugee crisis and first climate refugees, and I'm saying climate a lot, but like all sorts of catastrophic things that we've seen, like poverty, like hunger, like civil wars, like warfare now is more atrocious than warfare in the First World War and the Second World War. Like it's insanity. So based on this premise, do you think that we are today living in like a huge historical crack in the big narrative? Are we going through a change? Is there a revolution that is coming? Is there something on a global scale?
I really hope so, in a sense, not that wishing chaos and death, of course, but I was like hearing. I do. I mean, all changes come with violence.
Yeah.
And I was hearing like this guy, and he said like this was probably the last US elections in which it had like a relevance for the world. Like this was like the last time it was relevant.
Yeah.
Like now on, it's not going to have like the relevance it had before. And this guy almost say the ugly truth is that when empire falls, they fall fighting and
they get super aggressive,
super
like,
aggressive,
become
and this narrative will not change. And now with these attempts of de-dollarizing and everything that is happening, like the US is just like reacting more violently in their policies. And even like Trump is saying, like Trump just said, like if Mexico don't change their border policies, we are going to implement a 20%. It's like, of course, it's
So
idiot. Like it's like that. Like if you do that, like the US like breaks, like we're your
Yeah,
main partner,
you
like
eat from
your economical partner, you eat from
I
us.
mean, honestly, I can't believe that Mexico accepted NAFTA the way it is.
There's a lot of things with Mexico.
Fucking exporting fast food to Mexico and getting fucking avocado and like proper.
I'm not sure if it's insane. But yeah, coming back to what you say, and once my dad told me, like, we were like discussing capitalism, and he told me like capitalism won, and I told him like, for now, but like people tend to forget that this is not it, like this is capitalism is a new thing of 150 years old.
Yeah.
The US has like 200 something years, like it's nothing, like on the scale of human history, it's a
nothing.
joke. It's absolutely
nothing.
like, and it's what Zizek like says all the time, like we believe that it's more probable that an asteroid comes and destroys the earth
than capitalism falling.
Absolutely. And it's like that.
Yeah.
It will fall because things fall.
Because
it is.
No, and that's I think that's our biggest disease as humans, is that we see everything on human scale, on human lifespan. That's the only thing that's why we suck so fucking much on preventing human natural catastrophes, and because we don't perceive life outside of 100 years that we are able to do.
Absolutely.
Like the Egyptian, the pharaonic civilization blossomed just because of a simple, stupid thing. The story with the Nile.
That it changed course.
The fact that sometimes it gets too high and it floods everything, and sometimes there is drought and there is nothing. And there is this little system that they adopted which is a social thing, which is picking up which is the
socialist.
Yeah, like literally the first recorded institution, almost in human history, is this state institution that picks the grains, save them for like every farmer gives a portion of his grain to the state so that they save it, so that when there is drought they can use, and that's how they flourish as a civilization. That's how they were able to procreate and to exist more. Like our biggest problem is that we can't think above our generation.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think it's true. Talking about Egyptians, because I always laugh when they say like, I love like classic philosophy. I like to know what people said. I wouldn't say like I read a lot of classic philosophy, but I like to know which philosopher said what. No,
I read about it,
and I was reading about Thales de Miletus. Thales. I don't know how to say in English. And
did you send me something?
I don't remember, but it's always
no, and the intro of the podcast.
I was reading about him, and they say like the first philosopher, and like the first, just because he was like Greek and stuff. And it's fun how they create, like, since I was a kid, and they tell you about philosophy, like it started in Greece, and like it's always like Western civilization. And when you actually like,
even their gods are not all Greek.
Even Aristotle, he was saying like my philosophy comes from Egypt. Like he was.
Their gods also, their gods, which is their philosophy in some sense.
I mean, but it comes back to this idea of restraining everything to just the Western civilization.
Yeah. I mean, both Egypt and Mesopotamia are always discarded from the Western narrative because, they don't look white.
Because they are not white.
I think it's a pretty good stopping point.
I think we can pause this.
I mean, you did 1 hour.
This is 1 hour. Dude, I have to pack.
You have to pack. And I have to drive.
And you have to drive me home.
Beautiful.
Let's make a pause and see if we come back. And if we don't come back...
No, we're good. That's it.
We're good. Ciao,
wrap it
guys.
up. You said wrap it up.
We wrapped it up.
I don't know what to say. Love you guys. Ciao.
Subscribe.
Subscribe.
Please like, subscribe, and share if you like our content. This will help us a lot.
Follow
our Instagram page, our TikTok page that doesn't exist, and our Twitter that doesn't exist as well.
And if you're a patron, that doesn't exist.
Please donate €0 to this Patreon.